Hello, dear students. This is my 10th online lecture on magazine illustrations. I am sure that you have understood all my lectures and taking keen interest in watching all my lectures. You know about me. I am teaching you magazine illustration in your 8th semester as your elective course. This is Miss Aman, lecturer, graphic designer at University of Education Lower Mall Campus, Division of Arts and Social Sciences. This is the topic number 5, Traditional Techniques Magazine Illustrations. So, we shall start with the name of Allah, the most beneficent and the most merciful. And may Allah bless all my students with health and prosperity. In my past lectures, 7, 8, 9, we studied about the different techniques of magazine illustrations. Now, this is the technique number 6, the watercolor illustrations. Charcoal, pencil, watercolors, these are still very famous in illustrations, and people do their illustrations in watercolor and the charcoals and pencils. So at number 6 is watercolor illustrations. In watercolor illustrations, the main thing is to use color pigments and to create nuisance and different transparencies by adding water to the color. The overall feeling of watercolor illustrations is soft, airy, with lots of depth. Illustrators prefer it for illustrating cookbooks, feminine and fashion types of illustrations, children book illustrations, as it is very light. It is one of the easiest ways of creating splashes of color, merging one into another, common threads for the mentioned illustration styles. So this is the watercolor illustrations. You can see the watercolor illustrations. आप लोगों को वाटर कलर इलस्ट्रेशंस के नाम से ही समझ आई होगी कि वाटर का मतलब है पानी, और हम जो पेंट्स यूज़ करें वो हम पानी के साथ यूज़ करते हैं। हम ट्रांसपेरेंसी लेके आते हैं। 2 टाइप्स की वाटर कलर टेक्निक्स हैं, वो आप लोगों को सब पता है। आप लोग फर्स्ट सेमेस्टर से वाटर कलर्स को भी पेंटिंग सब्जेक्ट में आप लोगों ने इसको इस पे काम किया है। सो वाटर कलर जो है इलस्ट्रेशंस में भी यूज़ होती हैं, और जो है ये ट्रांसपेरेंसीज लाने के लिए जिन हमें सब्जेक्ट में या जिन हमें ड्राइंग्स में हमें इलस्ट्रेशंस के अंदर हमें वाटर कलर इफ़ेक्ट्स देने हो, हम वाटर कलर इलस्ट्रेशंस को यूज़ करते हैं। ये सॉफ्ट होते हैं, ट्रांसपेरेंट इफ़ेक्ट क्रिएट करते हैं, वाटरी इफ़ेक्ट क्रिएट करते हैं, और जो है ये स्टिल जो है वाटर कलर इलस्ट्रेशन जो है वो यूज़ में है। हमने ट्रांसपेरेंसी शीट्स में दिखानी हो, हम लोग जो है वाटर अमाउंट जो है पेंट्स में यूज़ करते हैं। डेप्थ, स्पेस एंड सॉफ्टनेस characterize the illustrations. Colors can be splashes one above other with ease. So this is where illustrations at number 6. हम इसके ऊपर एक वीडियो देखेंगे, इससे आपको और इजीली वाटर कलर इलस्ट्रेशंस के बारे में समझ आएगी। This is the watercolor illustrations at number 6. The primary aid of watercolor illustrations is creating effects and shades by adding water to create different transparencies of the pigmented colors. This is, you can see, the artist is drawing and then he will use watercolors in it. There is a lot of depth and detailing which is often obtained from this method, means the watercolor method. The artist is drawing on a water sheet and then he will give effects with the water and the pigments. You can see the transparency in it. This is the overall feeling of watercolor illustration is soft, airy with lot of depth. हमारी फैशन में या फेमिनिन कुक बुक्स में, फेमिनिन मैगजीन्स में, चिल्ड्रन बुक इलस्ट्रेशंस में जो है वाटर कलर इलस्ट्रेशंस की जाती हैं. चिल्ड्रन बुक इलस्ट्रेशंस जो है वाटर कलर्स में बहुत ज़्यादा फेमस हैं. कोई भी बच्चा अगर अपने थीसिस में चिल्ड्रन बुक डिज़ाइन कर रहा है तो वो वाटर कलर्स के इफ़ेक्ट्स दे सकता है. सो हमारे पास फर्स्ट नंबर पे वुड कटिंग थी, सेकंड पे इचिंग थी, थर्ड पे हमने जाना जो है वो पेंसिल इलस्ट्रेशंस को, लिथोग्राफी को. नंबर 5 पे हमने चारकोल को लास्ट लेक्चर में देखा. एंड दिस इज़ द lecture number 10 and is the watercolor illustrations at number 6. This is a wonderful demonstrations of watercolor illustrations on your screens. You are very much aware of this technique since your first semester. What is illustrations? We studied about the illustration in my first and second lecture. Illustration is a decoration, interpretation, or visual explanation of a text, concept, or process designed for integration in published media such as poster, flyers, magazines, books, teaching materials, animations, video games, and films. An illustration is typically created by an illustrator. Illustrations also means providing an example in writing or in picture form. This is the video on magazine illustrations, traditional magazine illustrations. The artist is coloring with the water and you can see this is the beautiful illustrations you can see on your screens. These are my online lectures on your magazine illustrations. This is a painting method in which the paints are made of pigments suspended in a water-based solution. You have the different watercolor paints companies in the market. You can buy them and do with the mix it with water and apply on the page. You mix it with the paints and apply on the sheets. This is an other medium of magazine illustrations. Still, they are very much used and famous nowadays. See the beautiful illustrations. Transparent, soft, airy, natural effect with the water. The white of the paper gives a natural luminosity to the washes of colors. So this is the end of the video. You have watched the beautiful watercolors. This is helpful for your thesis. You can do illustrations for kids or on fashion or cookbooks on watercolor illustrations. Dark tones, light tones, white area. These are the pigments used in the watercolor for creating the transparency. For more transparency, you add more water. This will create depth, space, and softness in your work. आप लोग एक कलर के ऊपर दूसरा कलर यूज़ करते हैं, स्प्लैशिंग करते हैं और जिससे जो है वो इफ़ेक्ट्स क्रिएट होते हैं. ये हमारे पास illustrations है in watercolor. So this is my lecture number 10 and the end of my lecture number 10. Hope you have understood my lectures, and I will tell you more about the traditional magazine illustrations in my next lectures. It's all for today. Thank you. The end of my lecture.